Before analyzing LAFC's build-up, we need to ask, what did Messi's Inter Miami do to disrupt it from the very first phase? Here's how their defensive shape set the tone. Miami organize in a 4-3-3 mid-block in the mid-third. When LAFC circulate the ball to the right, Miami maintain their overall block structure, while the nearest defender steps out aggressively to apply pressure. Unable to find a clear passing lane, the possessor dribbles centrally toward the half-line. The moment he enters that zone, 4 Miami players collapse simultaneously, forming a compact pressing trap around him. To escape, LAFC recycle the ball backward. Again, the nearest defender immediately jumps out to apply pressure. When LAFC attempt to progress forward once more, Miami retreat collectively, shifting as a unit while preserving their block integrity. Once again, Miami establish a mid-block. With passing options limited, LAFC are forced into a backward pass. At that moment, the first defender reacts instantly, stepping out to press. As the ball travels deeper toward the defensive third, Miami suddenly shift gears. They jump forward aggressively and transition into a ball-side, man-oriented press. When LAFC attempt yet another backward pass, Miami push even higher, committing fully to man-to-man pressure on the ball side. So how did LAFC escape Miami's pressure? The first answer was simple: unleash Bouanga's dynamic superiority. The opposition push extremely high, attempting to disrupt LAFC's build-up from the very first phase. To create a passing option, Bouanga drops quickly from the left side, and the possessor releases the ball into him. At the same time, Son makes an immediate forward run, preparing for the transition. Using his individual quality, Bouanga drives inside toward the central channel, before initiating a quick combination with the already advancing Son. As soon as Son receives the ball, he plays a first-time pass into the space in behind. Bouanga then accelerates into that space, exploiting his dynamic superiority to attack the defensive line. The second approach was to deliberately invite the opposition's high press and then exploit the vertical gaps that opened up as a result. In this sequence, the possessor plays backward to draw the opposition even further forward. As a result, the opponent quickly shifts into a man-oriented press, stepping aggressively to apply pressure. But that's not all. At the same moment, LAFC not only create new passing options, but also drop quickly and collectively to pull the opposition's second line even deeper. As intended, the defensive block is dragged out of shape. The defender then finds a pass into midfield, and simultaneously, Eustaquio, who had been positioned higher, begins to move into the space between the opposition's second line and defensive line. As the second line is pulled downward, a significant vertical gap opens between the lines. Recognizing this, Delgado delivers a pass into the now free central area. Eustaquio receives with time and space, calmly exploiting the central channel to progress the attack. Miami dropped into a disciplined 4-4-2 low block in their defensive third, compressing space and limiting central access. LAFC's answer was simple: unleash Bouanga's dynamic superiority. As soon as the possessor receives the ball, the defender steps out to apply pressure. At the same time, attacker Ordaz makes a curved run, dragging a defender away and manipulating the defensive line. With space now created and Bouanga isolated on the flank, the possessor delivers the pass to him. Using his dynamic superiority, Bouanga drives forward confidently, carrying a defender with him. Meanwhile, Ordaz makes another curved run, this time into the center of the box, diverting the attention of the remaining defenders. The right winger also attacks the box, further stretching and destabilizing the defensive structure. Unable to contain Bouanga 1 versus 1, a second defender steps across to provide cover. That movement opens the cutback lane toward Ordaz. Bouanga delivers the cutback, and the sequence is completed with a finish.
Bouanga sets up Ordaz!
LAFC are at their most dangerous in transition. The moment they regain possession, the mission is simple. Find Son or Bouanga first and explode forward at full speed. To lure pressure, the opposition centre-back carries the ball forward slowly. Since the ball is not yet in the mid-third, LAFC hold their pressing trigger and remain compact. Suddenly, the defender attempts a forward pass into midfield. That is the trigger. LAFC immediately collapse on the possessor, applying aggressive pressure. After winning the ball, they quickly shift it to a nearby midfielder. Within seconds, they recognize that Son is free in the highest line. A one-touch pass releases him instantly. At the same time, right winger Martinez explodes into the right channel. Despite Martinez attacking the open space, the defense chooses to collapse onto Son, fully aware of his transitional threat. 3 defenders converge on him. That decision proves costly. With the back line completely exposed, Son delivers a perfectly timed pass into the unguarded space in behind. Martinez accelerates at full speed into the free zone. With no defensive contest, he finishes cleanly, completing the high regain attack. This sequence begins deep in the defensive third, where LAFC clear an opposition cross with a header. The second ball drops to Son. Instead of forcing the play, Son initially plays backward to stabilize the counterattack. As pressure arrives, possessor recycles possession once more. At the same moment, Bouanga makes a rapid run in behind. The opposition have committed 9 players forward, leaving the defensive line completely exposed. Recognizing the imbalance, the possessor launches a long diagonal ball into the open space. Bouanga uses his dynamic superiority to surge into the final third. As the long ball drops, he heads it beyond the goalkeeper, eliminating both the defender and the keeper in one action. He then chases the loose ball and calmly finishes into the empty net.